All right, Coach Donna Finnie, HBU women's basketball. First, how are you?
I'm great, thank you. How are you?
I'm great. Are you great because the team is healthy for once?
Correct.
And what does that entail this year?
Oh, I mean, we've obviously had 2 years where we've been really struggling with injuries from the preseason right through the whole year. So it's been so refreshing for us to have 15 bodies in practice every day. Um, I think there's only been 1 week where we've had a couple of people out with small things, but other than that, we've had everybody healthy, and it just changes what you can do, how hard you can push people. Um, from a coaching perspective, it feels like you get life back because you're so limited in what you can do when you only have 6 or 7 bodies healthy consistently. Um, it's energized us as a staff, and it's definitely brought more energy to the floor.
What's the roster, the classification breakdown of seniors, juniors?
So we have 5 freshmen this year, 3 that are from the Dallas area and 2 from overseas. Then sophomores, we have 2 returners, Julia and Marilyn, who will both be big pieces for us this year. We have 2 transfers that are juniors, and then also Megan Valdez, who returns at a point position for us as a junior, and then we have 5 seniors.
Will the transfers play this year? They're eligible to play this year?
One will, and the other one is going to have to redshirt this year. Yeah.
How about height wise? How tall are you?
So yeah, I think we've added some good pieces into our post play. Abby Sutherland is 6'4" and probably, well, not probably, is the most composed freshman that I've seen of any position that we've had. Just so mature, plays with a poise that is you don't normally see in any college freshman. She's just very mature because of the fact she's played with senior basketball players when she was playing back home in Australia, and her IQ is very high, and she doesn't seem like a freshman in any aspect right now. And then Austa Grímsdóttir is a 6'1" post from Iceland that we added and put up really big numbers with the Europeans this summer. Hers has probably been the hardest transition because of the language barrier, but really smart kid and really works hard. Like already, we've seen a big adjustment in her game because of her work ethic. And I think she'll probably be the one that we see the most increase in minutes over the year because of her work ethic.
How do you communicate with her? I
In
mean,
English.
no. I mean, in terms of you said there's a communication
Yeah.
issue.
Well, we actually talked with her a little bit about whether or not we needed a glossary, of like words that she may not understand
Mhm.
basketball terminology. The first few weeks was a little bit difficult just because there are certain words that we use that they don't.
Sure.
Um, but we just talked about it. Like, is there something you don't understand? Okay, what is it? Let's draw me it if you don't understand. And but she's up to speed. And there are some days I think did she understand that? When we're putting new things in, but she's really good at coming in and talking with us about it. So if there is something that she doesn't understand, she's good at asking.
You mentioned 3 players from the Dallas area. Are they from the same program, high school?
Yeah, so they all went to Timberview High School, and they all played for the same AAU program, Lady Jets. And with them, they've just added this competitiveness. Um, and I think they, in terms of transition, it was, this is a little bit tougher physically than what we're used to, but they've really stepped it up. They kind of, when we talk about freshman transitions, theirs has not been anywhere close to what some people have to deal with because they're so competitive on the floor. We never have to ask them to go harder. They want to win every drill that they're in. And having those 3 in the guard spots has made us way more athletic than we have been. So I expect to see them feature pretty heavily this year too.
Now, same question, but it's about the freshmen. 3 from Dallas, 2 overseas.
Mm-hmm.
How did you overseas first? How did you get info on them to begin recruiting them?
I mean, with all our overseas kids, it's typically contacts that I have, so I think when people know you and the kind of program you're running, they know the kind of kid you're looking for. And so it's always a connection, of a coach that I've coached against over there, or someone that I have a connection with, and they say, hey, we have this kid, you want to look at her because we think she'd be a good fit for your program. And that's kind of how they both came around initially. um, and I think with both of them, it was evident when they came on their visits that they would really fit with our players as well. And I think that's really important when they come on these official visits, because when you're so far away from home and your parents are not here and you have no family around, it's really important that they feel comfortable with the team, and they clicked immediately. So that was really positive for us.
And then the Dallas kids, was that just a connection you have there? You saw them in a tournament, or how did that work out?
Yeah, I mean, we'd seen them actually with Denasia. We'd actually seen her from when she was in middle school, believe it or not. And I was just talking with one of our other staff, saying, "Do you remember when she was in seventh grade?" And we loved her at that point, and kind of tracked her as she grew, and then followed Timberview and saw the other girls, but we saw them play with Lady Jets a couple of summers ago, and basically saw them play every game, and were sold at that point. And they played very well together. So in practices when they're on the same team, there's just this unspoken understanding they have, and it really shows when we go on the floor.
And how tall are they?
Kennedy is 5'5", and she'll say she's 5'6", but yeah. Tamia's about 5'8", and Dee is about 5'11". Yeah.
So, one point guard and combo guards, or
yeah. And what I really like about Dee is she's so versatile, and we can play her any like 2, 3, 4, and she rebounds the ball really well. But she's also proving to be a really, really solid 3-point shooter, and with her size, that's going to help us a lot. But she's Dee and Abby are the two freshmen that play with the most composure consistently. But I see them all featuring. I've been so impressed with Kennedy's energy and willingness to, lead from the point guard position. She's got, a senior and a junior point guard ahead of her who have played a lot of minutes, but she's challenging them every day in practice. And I've seen huge steps forward with her. And then with Tamia, she's just so good at breaking people down off the dribble, and she can create for herself. And she's so strong. She can finish with contact at the rim. So all three of them are bringing something every day and challenging the upperclassmen for minutes, which is great.
With 15 bodies, which is, it's been a long time since I've heard you say that number.
Yeah.
Are you still using guys as practice players?
We do have, we have several guys that come in as practice players, but we aren't going to start using them until next month, because we've got 7 newcomers this year. We really wanted them to get familiar with our system. But they have on a Saturday, we scrimmage, and the guys come in on a Saturday, and that's been very valuable for us. But, the reality is that it's very unlikely you go through a season where you don't miss bodies at some point. But for us, it's been great. We missed Sydney Carr last year with an Achilles tear all year, and she's back, and she looks great. And so having people that have been gone for such a long time back, and they know the system, and they're hungry to play because this is their last go around and they've had it taken away from them. Our practices have been so much more competitive than they've ever been since I've been here, and so it makes it very exciting going into practice every day. It's going to be competitive, and it's going to be something that's we're going to gain at the end of it. We're going to see improvement, and that's from our staff's perspective something that's really exciting.
Have you thought about how many you're going to play regular rotation during the season?
I'm sorry.
Rotation wise, like 9, 10 deep during the season?
Honestly, right now it's really, really tough for me to say that, because when we on a Saturday when we put our line up together for scrimmages, we've been splitting the team so that everybody rotates so we can run our stuff. But it's hard, I mean, we've the freshmen have closed the gap quicker than we thought they would, and so we keep telling them, what you do in practice on a daily basis is so important, because that proves to us that we can rely on you when it comes to game time. So right now, I'm not sure. I think it'll be very interesting to see how it all shakes out.
Who's on your non-conference schedule?
So we open up with a couple of non-D1 games here at home, and then we go to Baylor on November 14th, and then quickly turn around and go over to U of H on the 17th. We fly up and play ORU and Wichita State after that, and then we've got Texas Tech and ULM as well.
And then the
and
20
Northern Arizona at home. Sorry.
And then the 20-game conference schedule begins. What are your thoughts on the 20 games?
It's going to be interesting. I think I think from our perspective, we would love to see a balanced schedule. And even though we've moved to 20 games, it still is not a balanced schedule where we can play everybody twice. And so, I think it makes it tough because obviously some teams are playing two of the considered top teams twice, and others are not. But it'll be interesting, and I know we're going to be in this schedule for next year as well. So. I mean, the Southland is so competitive, never know on any given day. So there's a lot of opportunity for us.
Who are the top teams in the conference?
I think, this year, probably ACU and SFA will be the two that have the most returners and most experience coming back. But I really do believe that in this league, it can be anyone. And that's what's so exciting. If you look at the last, 6 or 7 years at the conference tournament, the number one seed has never gone to the NCAA tournament, and it's because there's so much parity in this league. We have some great programs, some great coaches, and I think it's an exciting league to be part of because there is that carrot at the end of it that you may have a chance to go to the NCAA tournament. So definitely exciting for our players, and our goal really is to focus on what we do on a daily basis, and we haven't really talked much further ahead. I mean, obviously we have team goals and we have individual goals, but we just keep focusing day by day right now.
Thank you very much. That's all I need.
Thank you.